I was ready to be free. Like I was, I had quite a bit of uncomfortableness and you could even say suffering in my other life. And I was ready to let go of that, that constant striving and just enjoy what, what the next moment brings.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I'd like to introduce Grace. Hi, Grace.
Hello, Luca.
How are you?
Good.
Very nice. So, Grace is a very interesting person in Koh Phangan. She's a personal friend of mine and someone who lived in many countries all over the world, in Japan, etc., originally from the United States. And we're going to talk about different things today. Grace, many people struggle to be in the present moment. What does it mean being in the present moment and being aware?
Well, right now, I'm in the present moment. You're in the present moment. So even like talking about it kind of gets us away from it a little bit. But since we need to use language to communicate, well, that's one way, right? Yeah. So what does it mean to be in the present moment? It means to just be here, like not in the past and not in the future, not thinking about, okay, Luca, what's the next question what's the next question that you are going to ask me, or, so just to see what's going to come up. We have no idea really what's going to come up. We can predict that, but we don't actually know.
It feels good to be in the present moment. I think when I am present and in the now and then, there is no anxiety for the future, there is no pain related to the past. It's a nice, clean state of mind, isn't it?
Yes. It's like an acceptance that, we don't actually know what's going to happen, but it's going to be just fine. We can like invite it in, and even if it's going to come whether we invite it or not. Like the suffering that that I've had in my life comes because I put up a resistance against, like, what happens. Oh no, I might make up a nightmare or a drama about what might happen or what did happen. Like suppose like we talked a little bit about, like, what if this doesn't look good? Like I had that little bit of a thought. Like, what if this video doesn't turn out okay? But we don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll just trust it'll all be okay.
And also, what I really think is the relativity of the mind as well, So when we go in the future and in the past, it's easier to compare and to make, the thought relative to some expectations or a previous experience. When we are present and in the moment, this relativity is reduced to a certain extent.
Well, if we compare, then we're really not in the present moment because we're comparing with something from the past, and the present moment can really only be known by the present moment. Just like if somebody is trying to know about swimming and they are on the sidelines not really getting into the water, then how can they really know about swimming? They can talk about it, they can read a book about it, but they really don't know unless at that present moment they get in and they feel the current sensations, and they are just like in the moment. And
Absolutely.
it's kind of a hard thing to actually talk about.
Indeed. When I think of the moment as well, particularly relating to an experience, I think of a state of flow as well, So when I am experiencing the most joy in my life, let's say I'm going swimming, and I'm not thinking about dinner later or, what I did early in the day, but I am completely melting into the ocean in a kind of state of flow where things happen and my state of consciousness is very relaxed, very present, and very enjoying the moment. When do you experience state of flow, or what is that sort of turns you on?
Well, we can go to swimming. Actually, I swim almost every day. And that does put me into the present moment because first of all, it's so filled with sensations, like the temperature of the water, and then all of the presentness, like the sea life and the movement. It's just so filled with things. And actually, there's also some things that have in the past pulled me away from the present moment in the water. Like an example would be some fear might come up, like of a jellyfish or something like that, or even swimming alone, like when I was a child, that was something that was like you don't swim alone even if you're an adult, right? But it's just wonderful to swim by myself. And also if I always waited for somebody, I would not be able to swim regularly. So it'd take me away. If I had like this, preconditioned rule that I always had to swim with somebody for like safety purposes. So there's a bit of like putting the safety, sometimes to the side, often to the side. I mean, because like here in Koh Phangan, we get on our motorbikes every day, and there's only so much, there's only so many safety measures, and sometimes you can go overboard with them. Like if you see people with the guards on their knees and their elbows, or they're driving so slow, they're not really in the present moment. They actually can cause an accident.
Also, the concept of safety is very interesting indeed, because it looks like culture is moving towards what we perceive as being dangerous and a way of like with being safe, keeping safe, keep safe. It's like a mantra almost, like keep safe.
Yeah.
And that fascinates me to a certain extent too,
I can see that.
What
like your
safe?
eyes are lighting up.
What is safe to you? What is safe and what is unsafe?
Yeah. I actually, since it relates directly to the present moments, like actually I just need to step right into the moment, not knowing what's going to happen. And so safety is more of an internal experience, not necessarily an external. I can set up line everything up so I have a safe life, and then a palm tree could fall on me while I was riding my very safe motorbike, or maybe I would have something different than a motorbike. So it's just a surrender into, don't know exactly what's going to happen in this present moment, but I'm still just going to welcome it, and it'll all be okay.
Because of course safety is also related to some form of control and structure, and I think the healthy way of living life is to find a balance between letting go and accepting risk as part of life, because there's a very interesting quote from Earl Nightingale, I think.
Nightingale.
Yeah,
yes.
Nightingale. It says, many people tiptoe their way to death.
That's a good one.
In the way they never dare to do anything which is extraordinary or like, beautiful in a way, out of the mediocrity, and because they want to be safe, yeah, but then they die anyway. So a good life possibly is also a life where you take some heartfelt risks with a potential partner, with moving to a new country, with starting a new project. If you want to keep safe all the time, you'll just end up watching TV and not leaving your home. That's not why I came to Koh Phangan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. Well, that safety measure. That's one thing that's so unique about living in Koh Phangan, is that people here have stepped outside of their comfort zone. In some way, they have, and many of the people that live here have gone way above like the norm. In my like where I grew up in the United States, there are people that are even living in the same house that they were born in, you know, and they've never traveled abroad. They might not even have a passport. They have, you know, never taken that step. They may have never done, you know, rode a motorbike because, you know, I mean, motorbikes have a reputation of being dangerous, or many, many things, because of the fear that's really very active right now. In fact, you know, I'll just talk about something that's very current. So, you know, I have a daughter, yeah. And so I haven't seen her. It's coming up on 3 years. Yeah. And we, you know, before that, even though I've been living abroad for about 10 years now, I would see her at least every year, usually. I'll fly back or she would fly here. But because of COVID, that hasn't happened. And so I've been thinking, okay, you know, things are lightening up a little bit, and I don't particularly want to leave the island, but I put it out to my daughter this morning, and I asked her if she wanted to come and take a trip in November to see if she would come. But she decided that, she said what's going on, that she doesn't want to travel internationally because she doesn't feel safe enough. Whew. So that's very interesting. And, you know, because everybody has different ways of feeling safe. And, you know, I mean, we know that if we sometimes go too overboard and do too many things that are out of the comfort zone, that can actually spark some mental illness. You know, I mean, like someone, you know, has a death in the family, loses a job, and then on top of it, moves. You know, it's like having so many things going on that sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. So, yeah, for me, I do like a little bit of a dance. Like, I like to have comfort, and then I also like to do things that, like, go to the edge. It's just, it's really exciting for me to do that.
I think so, you know, because living in fear, I think, is one of the worst things you can do. And some people that perceive driving a motorbike being unsafe, maybe they smoke cigarettes or they eat junk food, you know. Yeah. I mean, 70% of the Western world is overweight or obese because of the food they eat mostly, but that's okay. Because culture and some form of philosophy ultimately decides what's accepted and not accepted as a personal risk. And, you know, if you want to be on one side, of course, too much rigidity, too much control, structure, then it can lead to an authoritarian or totalitarian kind of state, yeah? On the other side, you don't want to be reckless, as you said, you know? You don't want to just, woohoo, live for today completely, because you can end up in a destructive hedonism or, you know, even nihilism, which is also very dangerous. So I think the right measure between taking risks and knowing that we live only once, and I think life is a magical thing, and we have to make the most of it and fill our heart as well, you know, and decide, okay, I want to do this, I want to take a risk, you know, I want to go to Koh Phangan, I want to try with this beautiful girl I just met on the beach or something, you know. That's the risk to the ego, but it's a risk as well.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Well, as you were speaking, I thought of this like visual of, you know, there's the knight that might have all of this armor on and the structure, you know, probably he's had quite a bit of training and conditioning and everything. But when it comes to him walking and moving around, it's rather difficult. Probably hot, uncomfortable. I mean, imagine if he was going to go ahead and you know, have a romantic encounter or kiss somebody, it would not be feel particularly, you know, good. But then on the other hand, because we actually, you know, touched on this before we started, like the other extreme would be like, I just want to be totally free. And why is it that I'm still going around with this conditioning of wearing clothes? So you know, like, Luca, let's just do this totally nude, you know? Like that is like the whole, that's the whole other end of the spectrum, is like how nude do we really want to get? Not, you know, not necessarily, you know, I mean figuratively. Like, do I really want to, you know, open that area up, you know, or become vulnerable in that, you know, and yeah, so I definitely can feel when I when I'm getting close to an area where, wow, that would be exciting yet scary, and then there's the decision, do I want to go there?
When you moved from the United States to Koh Phangan, in some ways you might have also let go of a certain identity that you had in the United States related to your to your daughter, to your job, or what you were perceived to be the Grace in the United States. And you came to Koh Phangan, and how was it to rebuild an identity in Koh Phangan, and what is identity?
It's like I took off the clothing of my life in the United States, and then I came to Koh Phangan, and then I got a new wardrobe. I mean, just not just materialistically, but so many things have been new and different. Like even just in the United States, and also my first few years abroad, I still had the structure of working like a regular job, where I would, wake up every morning and have a little routine, and then go off to a workplace. And so when I came here, I did have some like uncomfortableness about what to do with my time. Yeah, I even felt like some old programming came in, and it was like, well, Grace, you're wasting your time. Like, you're not doing things that are valuable. But I had to redefine like what is valuable. Being laying on my hammock in the past, that would be considered wasting time. But it's so important. I actually had to like push myself a little bit. It seems so weird, but I actually had to encourage myself, just like someone might encourage themselves to go to the gym. I had to encourage myself to soften and relax, because I was so much into, I need to be productive. And so I'm still actually softening and letting go of the idea that I actually have to accomplish something.
I think it's very common, with people that come here, but in general, I think culture is very much geared towards making us human doings rather than human beings, because it's functional to society. There are good reasons why we need people to work hard, and provide the services and the goods everybody needs. But then that can become a little bit too much, and then people suffer. I suffered, I remember, just doing too much, being busy all the time. When I came to Koh Phangan first and I started slowing down, I had a similar experience of just being very challenged, and also feeling guilty a little bit, because I'm supposed to make money, I'm supposed to save money, I'm supposed to work on my career. Of course, I also, let go of my London identity, and for me it was very traumatic, and I had to sort of rebuild a new Luca in Koh Phangan. And it's beautiful, I love doing it in a way, but at the beginning it was challenging. But it's a challenge I can take on, because I really wanted it. For me, coming to Koh Phangan was a call from the heart, literally. I wanted a completely new lifestyle and a new profession. How about you? I mean, why did you come to Koh Phangan?
I was ready to be free. Like I was, I had quite a bit of uncomfortableness, and you could even say suffering in my other life. And I was ready to let go of that, that constant striving, and just enjoy what the next moment brings, like the beautiful nature that we have. I mean, even our humble homes that we have here. Back in the United States, I had quite a different home, but I was barely there. Like, it had lots of appliances, like a dishwasher, which is actually still very nice. I like dishwasher. But, it had all kinds of washing machine, dishwasher, nice carpets, all kinds of like things. But I didn't enjoy them quite as much as here, where I really can, because I was working, most of the time in the United States. And also I was thinking of working, if I wasn't always working, thinking about things that I had to, get ready and prepared for work. So, it's much, I find that there's more space here. There was always the space, but it's just that I didn't recognize that I could live a more simple life and a more full life. You know, it actually reminds me of this. So I recently got in contact with a friend that I hadn't seen or talked to in probably like 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we just kind of did a check-in with each other, and he is about in the same age range as me. He's actually kind of coming toward retiring, and he says that he hasn't taken a vacation in 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept striving and he felt like he needed to save and save, and then he realized that he was actually addicted to this whole process. Like he even felt, even though he has plenty of money to retire on, he feels like he doesn't know exactly how much money. He doesn't know, he doesn't know what the future will bring, if there would be a catastrophe and he'd need a lot. So he's continuing on that treadmill of accumulating and not really taking the space to just enjoy what it is that he has right now.
And always we are trading time and effort, time and vitality for money and meaning. It's a form of a currency exchange, and people don't see it in these terms. They don't see, I'm 60, I'm still working a job maybe I don't like so much for money, and I do it because I need money. But then you're giving up time, and time is never going to come back. And also health, it's not going to come back. I mean, vitality, strength, and it's not going to come back. So these are also things that people don't consider, because indeed society needs us to work very hard, because it's the way we are based. Societies that need to be productive. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took a lot of effort to build Rome, right? So
well, I'm not sure about that.
So tell me, what's your view on it?
I don't know that much about Rome.
New York. New York is a new Rome.
Is putting his investment into something that really could just fall out, and he knows it, and he knows it at some level, but he doesn't know any other way, And that was something it's something here, like on Koh Phangan, where there's a lot more focus on putting our time into, efforts to be more balanced, centered, in the moment, like things that really could just being present. I guess I'm touching a little bit on like more eternal things instead of the things that come and go.
Wow, well, Grace, thank you very much for this little chat today, and I loved hanging out with you. You have such good energy, and I see you soon.
Oh, thank you, Luca.
Thank you.
I'm grateful that you asked me.